Hey friend, come sit with me for a little while. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. It's not about tarot, astrology, or journaling. Instead, I want to talk about something that's become a surprisingly emotional topic online: artificial intelligence, or AI. If you spent any time on social media lately, you've probably seen the conversations. Some people believe AI is ruining creativity, others think it's one of the greatest tools we've ever been given. And then there are people somewhere in the middle, like myself. I wanted to share where I stand, not because I think my opinion is the right one, but because I value transparency. If you're spending time here with me, I think you deserve to know how I create things that you enjoy. So let's talk about it. I'll start with something simple. Yes, I do use AI. I use it to brainstorm, to organize thoughts, to help me untangle ideas that are bouncing around in my head. Sometimes I use it to proofread something I've already written. Sometimes it helps me find a better way to explain a concept I've understood for years but struggle to put into words. Sometimes it helps me overcome the blank page. If you've ever stared at a blinking cursor for an hour wondering where to start, you will definitely understand why that is valuable. But here's the part that's important. AI doesn't make wildflowers and moonlight. I do. Every story I tell comes from my life, every lesson from my own experiences, my own studies, my own mistakes, and my own growth. AI hasn't stayed up until 2 a.m. reading another book because curiosity got the better of her. I've done that. It hasn't spent years learning tarot, studying astrology, experimenting with spiritual practices, or figuring out what resonates with me and what doesn't. It doesn't know my voice, it doesn't know my community, and it doesn't know you. Those are things only I can bring. I think sometimes people imagine creators pressing one button and publishing whatever appears. Maybe some people do. I can't speak for them. I can only speak for myself. And everything that gets published under Wildflowers and Moonlight passes through me first. I edit it, I rewrite it, I fact check it, I add my own stories. Sometimes I completely change what AI suggested because it simply does not sound like me at all. Other times it gives me one sentence that unlocks an entire episode I couldn't quite piece together. To me, that's a collaboration with a tool, not outsourcing my creativity. There's also another part of this conversation that I think is worth mentioning because I've seen it happening more and more lately. AI detection tools. You've probably heard of them, or maybe you've run something you've written through one yourself, or you've seen it pop up on something you've shared on social media. I've had stuff that I've made in Canva get flagged as AI. It's simple, I guess. I don't really understand fully how it works, but I know, and the reality of it is these detectors, it's not that simple. These tools make educated guesses based on patterns in writing. They aren't mind readers, and they don't know how a piece of content was actually created. So when we're talking about astrology, for example, and you have things that repeat over and over again, like we're going to talk about your sun in this sign, and it could mean this, this, and this. And then we move on to the next planet, and we're talking about this. And it's very similar in writing and how it sounds, and it gets flagged as AI a lot. But yeah, so because of the pattern recognition that it uses, they can sometimes flag writing that was created entirely by a human. Students have been falsely accused of using AI, and authors have seen years of developed writing styles labeled as AI generated. Even work that someone poured hours into can come back with a surprisingly high AI score. On the flip side, AI generated writing can sometimes pass through these same tools without being flagged at all. So, to me, that's a reminder that we should be careful about assuming we know someone's creative process based on what a detector says. Could someone be using AI and pretending they aren't? Absolutely. Could someone have written every word themselves and still get flagged? Yep, that happens too. Neither situation tells the whole story. At the end of the day, I don't think authenticity can be measured by a percentage on a website. I think authenticity comes from transparency. I'm telling you openly that I use AI as one of the many tools in my creative process. I'm also telling you that every episode, every workbook, every reading, every post, every resource that carries the Wildflowers and Moonlight name is something I review, rewrite, shape, and ultimately choose to publish. That's the part that I'm responsible for. Not AI, not a AI score or a detector. Me. If there's a flaw in it, it's me that missed it. Now, I also want to acknowledge something about AI. I completely understand why people have concerns. Artists have concerns, authors have concerns, voice actors and musicians, they all have concerns. There are real conversations happening about copyright, consent, ethics, environmental impacts, and how AI is trained. Those conversations matter, and I don't think dismissing those concerns helps anyone. Technology has always forced us to ask the difficult questions, and I think we should continue asking them. At the same time, I also think AI has incredible potential for independent creators like me. It can level the playing field. Not everyone has the budget to hire an editor, a graphic designer, a researcher, a social media manager, or a writing coach. For some people, AI is the first tool that made creating feel possible. For others, it makes information more accessible. It can help people with disabilities communicate. It can help someone learn. It can translate languages. It can help organize complicated information. Like most technology, it isn't inherently good or bad. It's how we choose to use it is what matters. So I tend to think about AI the same way I think about many of the other tools that we utilize. Spell check, Google, Canva, Photoshop, a calculator, a GPS. None of those replace our ability to think. They simply make certain tasks easier. AI feels similar to me. It's another tool, a very powerful one. And any powerful tool, it comes with responsibility. Okay, Spider-Man. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. Okay, yeah, bad joke, but definitely relatable. Something I've noticed about the conversations around AI, they've become very black and white. Either you're completely against it or you're accused of letting it do all your work. And reality is usually more complicated than that. Most things in life are. And I think it's okay for reasonable people to arrive at different conclusions. You don't have to agree with me. If you've decided AI isn't something you want to use, I genuinely respect that. If you're excited about the possibilities while also thinking carefully about the ethics, I respect that too. We're all trying to navigate something that's changing incredibly quickly. None of us have all of the answers. But one thing I do want to be clear about is this. I never want AI to replace genuine human connection. The reason I started Wildflowers and Moonlight wasn't to produce as much content as possible. It was to create a cozy place where people could slow down, learn, reflect, and hopefully feel a little less alone. No algorithm can replace that. No chatbot can replace the feeling of someone saying, "I've been there too." And no generated paragraph can replace lived experience. Those moments, the conversations, the shared stories, the quiet moments of understanding are the heart of this community. And that's something that I never want to lose. As technology continues to evolve, I imagine my approach will evolve too. I'll keep learning, I'll keep asking questions, I'll keep thinking critically, and if my perspective changes, I'll let you know. because I think honesty matters more than pretending to have everything figured out. And at the end of the day, I don't think authenticity is determined by whether someone uses AI. I think authenticity comes from intention, from integrity, from taking responsibility for the work you put into the world, from showing up honestly. And that's what I want to do here. Whether I'm writing a podcast, creating a tarot spread, designing a workbook, or simply sitting down to have a conversation like this one. So, wherever you stand on AI, thank you for listening. Thank you for being willing to hear another perspective. And thank you for making this little corner of the internet feel like a place where we can have thoughtful conversations, even when we don't all agree. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep asking good questions, and stay curious. And I'll see you beneath the wild skies.